Well, fortunately, we've been able to, when we've had medical situations that are really dire, we've been able to get the kids to the States. That's because of, my wife and I and some connections that we have and friends that we have in some high places there. But I can think of an example that we were lucky enough that happened before the gangs took over the roads. So our director was up visiting his mother, and the next day in this little village up near Okai, Miragwan actually, there's a knock on the door, and a woman is at the door. He opens the door, and there's a woman with 5 kids, and she says, "I hear that you have an orphanage. Uh, I have 5 kids. I have no place to live. They all have different fathers. None of them are involved. I want you to take my kids," at his mother's house. And he said, "Okay, well, that's not how it works, and we can't do that." But he called me while she was there, and he told me the situation. Literally, she's there while he's telling me. And I said, "Well, that's not how it works." He said, "Yes, but she has a baby. The baby's 6 months old, and it weighs 7 pounds. It fits in my hand." And she's telling me that the baby hasn't had anything to eat but sugar water since she was born. So should we take her into the orphanage? And I said, "Let's get her to a hospital before we worry about whether we're going to take her to the orphanage. You've got to get her to a hospital." And of course, he had to drive, because we weren't connected with Haiti Air Ambulance at that point. Now that would have been an example where we would have tried to use that. Haitian, and the people who should be answering your question are the Haitians, because they speak the best for themselves, not me. But I've been very privileged to work amongst Haitians, work with Haitians, and our children who start with nothing, come to us with nothing, don't have cell phones, don't have computers, don't have television, don't have internet, don't have social media posts. All of their possessions fit in a little 12-inch by 12-inch cubby, everything that they own. We used to have a practice where we would give them the little ones would get one little toy a month, or a little gadget that you can get in an airport, or a keychain or something like that. But at the end of 12 months, they could keep one, and they have to give the rest away to other kids outside for Christmas. And yet at the end of every day, our kids gather 365 days a year and do 30, 40 minutes of devotions, just thanking God for everything that they have, in Creole, in French, in English, singing to God and thanking God for what they have. And you asked about hope, and I remember a little kid that was brought to us, really skinny, and there was something all over his body. I think we might have lost this. Something was all over his body, marks or bites or whatever. And because we were able to get some medical attention, we were able to figure out it was a skin issue. We covered him with cream. Every night, he could not get bitten by bugs. So every night, despite the 95 degrees of the heat during the day and at night, and no air conditioning, he had to have long pants, long sleeves. And this poor kid, I would watch him, I would go to kiss the kids goodnight, and I'd go over to him, and he'd be soaking wet because he's covered in this stuff. But we stayed with it, he stayed with it, eventually became one of the smartest kids we've ever had, graduated high school, got a full college scholarship to Hillsdale College, just finished his first year, and we had to be airlifted out of, some of you might have heard this story, when we were there when the gangs attacked and took over the airport. And one of the Congress people who helped get us out of there, I made friends with, and she said, if you ever have a kid that wants to, do an internship or anything. I said, well, I think I got one. And he went over, and she ended up taking him to Washington, D.C. He spent 2 weeks there, they loved him so much that they offered him a job. He's a freshman in college, so I had to say he can't take a job. And he walked around Washington, D.C., and because we don't give our kids iPhones or anything like that, he doesn't have a camera. But while he was in Washington, D.C., I started to get photos of him in front of the Washington Monument, in front of the White House, in front of the... I said, how am I getting these photos if he doesn't have a camera? Well, apparently, he went around to every person, and when he found a monument, he would go up to people and say, would you like me to take your picture? He would take their picture, and then he would say, would you mind taking a picture of me and sending it to Mr. Mitch? So I got a whole library of it. I just found out that he made the dean's list, and he's standing right there. His name is William Mantle.
Hi, my name is Woodley. I just finished like Mr. Mitch was saying, my freshman year, going on my sophomore year, and it's a pleasure to be here. And what he has said is true. I went to DC and I was on my own. I did not believe that he would let me go on my own, but I went on my own. And I did not have a phone with me, so I had to do exactly what he said. So I went around, asked people to take pictures for them, and once I did, I said, okay, would you take a picture of me? And they were like, okay. So that's how I was able to send him all the pictures. But like he just said, in Haiti, it's chaos. There's gang violence. There's barely a government in place. And I'm a Haitian, so I've been there for like 17 years. I came here to the US to study, to have a politics program, a politics degree, but also go back, because that's the dream. Go back to my country and make it a better place. Because with all the people leaving the country, who's gonna stay back? Who's gonna stay back and help the others that want to grow, that want to make the country in a better place? So that's why I'm here, get my degree and get back to my country and make it a better place.
Critical blood lab testing for 5 individuals in the field. And for $1,500, you can provide the medical oxygen they need for a month. So whatever you can donate is appreciated. It will be put to good use. And we hope to see you back here again next year and tell you that we have more helicopters to fly, more supplies to give, and some positive stories to share. Thank you so much for your time and your generosity.